Well, welcome back to another Wednesday evening live stream with the Shower Door Professionals. As you know, we do this every Wednesday evening at 5:30 Pacific time. And if you're watching in the Facebook group, you want to join us in this call, you can do that by just clicking on the link in the description. Come on in. We'd love to have you on the call with us. So this evening, our guest speaker is Robert Gomez. Robert will be talking to us about leveraging digital assets to improve efficiency in your life and your business. And if you haven't heard Robert, if you don't know who he is, I'm going to tell you something, you're in for a treat. This guy knows some stuff about some stuff. And I have a feeling he's going to tell us some stuff about it. So Robert, thank you very much for agreeing to come tonight and share. I want to tell you, you have carte blanche, Mikasa, Sukasa, share your screen, talk about whatever you want to talk about. Give us about 20, 30 minutes of your expertise, and we'll see if we can save a little bit of time for questions at the end.
Sounds great to me. Can y'all hear me well?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
Is it too loud?
No, it's just
okay.
Right.
I got my gaming headphones on. All right. Well, hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us once again on this call. Happy to see all of y'all here. And first, I wanted to give a shout out to everyone that's kept this group going. Like the fact that y'all showing up consistently. Consistency is the name of the game of success for every single thing that everyone talks about that shows up to the calls. And the fact that y'all pioneered everything y'all have done so far, and that y'all are still sharing all of your wisdom and knowledge and not losing from it. You're showing that you can give away all your secrets and still succeed. And not even that, you can come out on top by giving away everything, because you raise all the a rising tide raises all ships. And I'd love to see that it's been shown and proven over years in a community of people that didn't care to hide their wealth of knowledge. So I appreciate that. I'm going to hopefully give y'all a ton of tech knowledge and tools that y'all can use and take away, regardless on if you choose to use FollowUp, which is the software I work with mainly to do what you need to do. I want to give y'all access to all the tools and knowledge y'all need to knock out whatever you need, because technology is priority one for me, to get y'all not doing the same mundane stuff every single day when you don't have to. So this is the topics that I wanted to cover. The slideshow doesn't cover all of these, just the topics in general I wanted to make sure I covered: culture, branding and ads, avatars and marketing, digital asset sheet that I have for y'all, a CRM and different options you have, how to create content, extra links I have for y'all, testimonials, and some question session. I'm going to cram this in very fast, so don't worry. So my superpower is patience, I think. I'm a digital helper, and I have the extreme patience to sit with someone and teach them something. My experience and why it even matters what I have to say, I think, starts 20 years ago, 25. I started at Ames Mirror Glass as a kid. The guy there hired me as a helper. I was a super cool helper for 2 years. I worked my way into a truck. I got all the cuts. I know how it is to be a bitter, disgruntled worker employee and how to get away with every single thing we can in the truck on that side. Then I left to do digital world management of different things, agencies, a lot of different. I'm a seeker of knowledge. So whatever I could learn, get a certification on and learn, including massage therapy, I went and did, because I love seeing mountains, climbing them, getting to the top, getting bored and looking for the next mountain. So that has benefited me when Chance came back to Glass Company in Austin and they asked, hey, you want to help with some marketing stuff? And Troy Sugart, the owner, was still there. My best friend who worked there 20 years ago was still there. And I felt a pull inside of me to come back to a company. Even though I was at an agency that was working for financial advisors and we had just hit our pay dirt after 2 years of working LinkedIn ads and automation and all the stuff people annoyed, I was super good at annoying y'all with stuff y'all didn't want to see in your inbox. But now I'm on the other side. And when this little glass company asked for help, I couldn't wait to help them because they built brand and culture with me when I was a kid. And that's the topic. I want to make sure I touch on those two things with that I heard y'all talk about before. you hit brand and culture in my eyes with hitting certain KPIs that aren't number based, like keeping interested in your people, what inspires them, what influences them. Those eyes, right? I saw that somewhere that those eyes matter also. And if you spend some time working on those key performance indicators, you'll get people that are loyal to you and that will have your back when no one's looking. And that's the kind of employees you want representing your brand when you go out there, not the guys that'll say yes sir in front of your face and do whatever they want behind your back. You want the people that'll have your back. And the way that Troy Sugar got that from me at Ames Glass and why I was willing to give everything to him coming back was that culture they built. They cared about employees. They cared about people. The guy was first. Life was first. Family was first. And then was work. And we figured out a way to crush it at work because family and everything was first. And that was super dope. Even when my mom passed, they shut down the company and everyone showed up. And it was super cool to see how they put personal over business, not just in words and practice. And what you show people is going to create your culture and your people, not the words you say in the books and the videos you make, unless you're also talking to them too. That's when they know that guy's legit. The person you put out there is legit, and they're willing to verify that to everyone. And that's why I'll always have that company's back and why they built the culture. So the speakers tonight, even though I've been speaking, is
Hey,
Oliver
Rob,
Thurgood.
I want to mention that your window isn't maximized in the screen. So
Is that better?
yeah, a little better.
Can y'all see a large screen, at least version of it?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
There we go.
I want to get maximum effect.
Fantastic. So he might speak tonight. He's where all my inspiration and support comes from. I will quiet him down if I can. I built this all on Canva on my phone on my way. I just came from a wake, viewing. My father-in-law passed away. After going into the hospital all his life, he didn't make it out this little last time. And just a good reminder, he's a workaholic man, and he lived a good life. He had a good family, and family was first. And I love to see people live full lives. So reminders to text your dad and your moms whenever you can. And also why I love technology. Like everything touches back to why I love what I do. And that's why I do it 24/7, 7 days a week. I don't have a day off. I'm always working on these things because these things free up me and people that I know from doing the same crap over and over again. And to me, that's just purposeful. And so the purpose of this workshop is for me to tell y'all how to use technology, how you can leverage technology, show you what we have for you, show you whatever other free tools you have that I can show you, and understanding where you're at as a business depends on what technology you're going to need and how hard it's going to be. Sometimes that new guy starting out, what stage you're at, that startup, it's amazing because you don't have anything. Sometimes you bite off more than you can chew, but you don't have to go undo a bunch of data transfer because you chose a new app today once again, and your guys are pissed at you again. Now what? Plateaued, you're stuck at the same position. You just can't seem to get over that million run rate that some people seem to get stuck at, magic numbers. Up and downers, those are the people who high turnover lack system. One day you're crushing it, you're telling everyone how you're about to open up 2 more, and the next day you haven't posted nothing because you don't want to tell the truth that you messed up. Anyway, should have beens, big boy competition. That's where you have multiple locations and you're doing everything you got to do, but they just got a big budget and they just got things figured out more. The way you can attack any of these, technology can step in and help you become more efficient, help you expose where you're not being efficient, help you automate things that are pointless, or just show you data points that show you, man, this was a worthless thing for us to do, and we would have kept doing it had we not known. So that's where technology and data super interests me, because the more it comes together, the more you can fix these problems that people didn't even know they had. No, I won't update right now. Calm down. Okay, common problems. So most business owners we talk to are in this situation. They have scattered things. Nothing's fully automated and nothing's fully talking to each other. They have a tons of apps that we've all used over the years, that I use as an agency over the years. They're great singularly. It's a pain in the ass to connect them all together and to make something happen over here when something happens over here, and to make sure everyone knows about it and that it's done right. And having someone actually capable to go check on those problems when they happen. That's what a lot of problems that business owners have, and why they don't even begin with technology. So this is a quote from Kelly. I think she's here, right? Hi, Kelly. So we knew something needed to be done. to update how we were doing things. At the time, we were using email to ask for photos of showers since the demand was there, but the manpower was not. That's a very typical thing we hear a lot. Most people don't take the leap to doing anything about it. The problem solver, this is a great testimonial from her about what it actually solved when we implemented a bunch of this technology and systems for her. I'll show you what these technologies are. They're CRMs, they're pipelines, they're automations available to anyone from any app. We just help you do it all a lot easier. I'm not going to read all this to you, but I'm going to share these slides with y'all so you can reference any of the links that I share with y'all later. So why should you use it? Increase efficiency of all your processes. That's the name of the game, right? You're in it to make money. Your customers will rave about the experience. I wanted to screenshot a bunch of our recent reviews to show you. Yes, you can always reference that one guy who's like, yeah, he's just not going to like that, and let that be the reason why you don't want to move forward with technology. But there's always 99 more customers that are going to rant and rave about you because they just went through 5 contractors in their whole build process or different people they interacted with, and somehow this glass company responded the fastest, sent them pictures the fastest, make them feel like they were understood, sent them pictures of exactly they wanted, and was there at every time they said throughout the entire process, and let them know when things were ordered, let them know if something was scratched, let them know when they're on the way, let them know afterwards about the experience, then sent them more information and checked in a month later to make sure that they were happy. And all these things we do automatically, but our processes everyone should do. But because we've been able to implement automation triggers based on the different stages that customers naturally go through our pipeline, we've been able to automate a lot of these touch points that make people feel heard. And people don't buy when they think you understand, right? They buy when they feel understood. Like they buy when they think you get them, not when they understand what you're talking about. You're like, oh yeah, I get you. That's cool. Anyways, we're going to keep shopping. But when they send you a picture of the tile and you send them immediately a picture of their exact layout with the door on the left, not on the right, then they say, yes, exactly. And when they say that, you got them. They trust you. There's no more convincing they need. They might be shopping 4 more times, but you're now a check mark, a green one in their list of people that they're vetting. And now everyone has to measure up to this bar that you set. And you didn't need to hire 10 more people to do it or yell at people to make sure they answer the phone fast. Like these automations created touch points for you, and you just took it upon yourself to make sure that things were right. The way that we speed up that communication with people is for templates. So this is what you get with us. This is what I suggest all of y'all create in your notes and your profile in a free Google Docs account that's connected to your free Gmail. Create snapshots of every single style, name them correctly, and then what you'll have is a database where you can search 90. Your guys can go into your database, search 90 clamps, and pull up the 7 different 90 clamp variation. And you don't have to post to Facebook shower group about a shower style that you need and wait for 20 minutes, even though this is the most amazing group that will help you with anything you need. Enhancing your own processes so your customers can answer so your clients can answer your employees can answer your customers faster is the name of the game. Speed of communication is really what it comes down to, improving experience for everyone. Making sure balls don't get dropped is another thing you do within the system with multiple pipelines and workflows. We have all that jammed in there. Kelly gave different examples of how she used multiple pipelines for different jobs that are in the future, named them by the month, and now they know that future jobs are coming in the pipeline because they moved them to these different dates within their database based on what the customer's response was about how ready they were. And now, without having to go and dig and ask, they can just look in their CRM and see how many people, how many employees, who can be off in these certain months where they already kind of have expected jobs to be ready. I didn't think of that, but these are cool things that the users of the systems come up with that the genius of y'all doing what y'all do just enhanced. And that's where I come in. I'm not the superhero. I'm Morpheus. I come and help the Neos. I come and help the y'all superheroes that are doing amazing things. I just show y'all that you might be in a cloud and there might be some things you can use to do it even better. This is where this comes in. Digital asset sheet. I'm going to give y'all access to this link sheet. It's full of crap. Let me actually pull it up to show you one of these, all of these actually. Here it is. So what I have for GCS Glass internally is a big sheet of every single website link that we have out there. Anything that's exposed to the customer externally or internally is in a Google. It is one sheet, and it's our digital audit and assets sheet. It's our digital master sheet. So anyone in the company, a lot of people work in the company, don't understand what you have, where you're posting, what you're doing, how do they share it, and having some kind of hub where they can go and at least know, because new people come in and they might be some killers in sales game, but they don't know you have all these assets of graphs and things they can send to their clientele to make you look really professional to their contacts. A lot of times you providing this database of stuff that you already have to your employees sparks genius within them. So I suggest everyone, y'all can download this sheet if you want. I can give you a copy of it. Actually, you can just request it, and it's just full of all the things I would recommend to you to do everything that FollowUp does all in one. But if you want to do it on your own, feel free, man. This is a free world. I'm the kind of guy that climbs a mountain because no one said I could, so I'd be right there with you. But regardless on if you use us or not, here's some things I think you need to do for your own peace of mind. If you have a super duper glass guy at gmail.com, go to Google Workspace. Here's a link, and you can buy a John at glasscompany.com email for about $12 a month. And if you want 10% off, just let me know. I got promo codes. You can Google a promo code, but if you can't Google it, I'll get you one. But that's just so you can get away from having that professional kind of email thing. Google tag. These are other profiles I recommend. I'm not going to go through them all, but these are ones I recommend everyone has just for the basics. A Google profile gives you free leads. Some of y'all already have these and then some. Some of y'all don't, and please get them. They're the basics for what's going to help you understand if the money you're spending is going to the right place, because your marketing guy is going to tell you got you 20 leads. But if you have tracking and analytics, you'll know you converted 2 of those leads, and you'll know your cost per acquisition was $1,000 per lead. And now you'll question if the marketing budget matches how much you're actually getting from the people you know came from that ad. It's a big different story when you understand that those kind of things. And just setting up your basics will help you. You don't need to be a data scientist. But if you hook us up with FollowUp, we'll help you do all that anyways. This is something I think all of y'all should get. Please get a password manager and get a 2-factor authentication set up for all your phones before you're the next person hacked. A lot of your passwords are the same as your bank password, is the same as your other password, as the same as that Candy Crush app. And that's where the problem is. If someone hacks the Candy Crush app and then gets your login and password and it's the same, they're going to auto apply that, especially with these AI and bots now. I mean, they're going to quickly apply that to all these banking sites and just see, just for shits and giggles, if you are that guy that made it the same password. And then you're going to have to dispute those charges that pop up on your thing. Or in my case, I lost 15 years of my Facebook profile because I was hacked, because one of our ad accounts was hacked. And now I got banned from WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram. Guess what? I'm back. But all my information is gone. So that's what happens when you give your data to somewhere else. That's why the power's in the list, and y'all should all have your own. But these are the things I recommend getting. Please get Grammarly. It'll fix your grammar automatically. Get some kind of marketing automation set up. Get a kind of post scheduler that'll automatically schedule your social media posts. You don't have to be a genius to post. I believe, who was it that gave the social media talk? That was a great one.
Oh, that was Keith. Yeah.
Keith Dobbin, yeah. So he was talking about a few social media tools, but there's a post scheduler. There's a few post schedulers I have down here. So these are the things I think you should have. These are all the pages where if you want this sheet, you could just go and create a profile and then put your link here, so you'll have access to what your links are. These are different CRMs that you can use. FollowUp. As you'll notice, a lot of these features, there's a bunch of different apps, or you could just use FollowUp because it takes care of all of those, and it's probably cheaper when you combine them. But if you already have House Call Pro, Service Titan, Zoho, I would recommend integrating things with other apps. But here's a bunch of CRMs you can use. Everyone should have a chat widget. Grab one. Use ours if you want. Ours is way cooler than theirs. Communication with your team. You need some kind of group messaging to know what everyone's on. And these are different free group schedule. Where's it at? Free social media schedulers you can use. All these here as well. I have these email marketing tools because you need to be sending emails to all of your list. Form builders, so you can create custom forms, and automation builders, so you can create your own. When this happens, that happens, because there's a lot of scenarios where I'll talk with new business owners and they're adding all their customers to QuickBooks at the end of their day. So I will step in, and I don't care what app you're using. There's some digital trail where we can automate. When you do one thing, it'll automatically do these other things for you. And that's kind of where I want to step in and help anyone that goes through their day-to-day and notices they're doing the same thing twice. This is where any of these will show you examples of where you can start. They give you starter kits. They show you, hey, here's some ideas of other people that built basic automations and how you can too. So I definitely recommend you taking advantage of that in your life. The number one thing, I made this entire presentation with Canva Pro on my phone. Canva is something of all these graphic design tools, these are all things you can grab with your phone, make your next piece of content for social media. And you don't have to be a genius. Like, the best advice is just record one long thing of you talking for 30 minutes, give it to someone and pay them to pull out the 2 good things you said if you don't think you talk that good. And they're going to be able to tell them, pull 5 tweets, pull 3 Instagram posts from that, pull 2 little video clips where I said something wise. Hopefully I did, or let me talk longer. Like, you don't have to be the creative one. If you are, here's some apps, but don't let that prevent you from putting yourself out there and your experience and your expertise. Sometimes the barrier to you and people knowing how much they can get from you is just your willingness, your ability to put it out there in these forms of content, because this is the way it'll get their attention. Well, then give it to someone else. Just say what you got to say. Write it down if you write it down, and they can produce multiple forms of content from that. These are password managers. Please get one, for the love of God. And Google browser extensions that I use often. You can just, I noted down what they do and why they will help you save time or money very fast. And these are books I would recommend, and extra apps, but none of these have to do with extra things. They're just referencing the sheet. Let me know if you have questions about it. And yeah, that's it. How to get started. Let me know if you want the sheet. If you want, I will start showing you FollowUp, any questions that y'all have. I didn't just want to go feature crazy on y'all and show y'all all these areas y'all didn't want to ask about. Just want to give you an overview of what it could do. Hope you understand why you should too, and give you access to a bunch of things you can use to start doing it immediately. A lot of those things are free. There's no excuse not to have technology in every part of your thing, every part of your business. So thanks for listening.
Wow. Awesome job, man. I can't believe you brought it in for a landing like that.
I try to cram it into the 30 to give an actual. I didn't want to talk to the last minute and be like, oh, sorry, guys.
No, great job, man. There's a lot to unpack right there. I mean, one question I have right off the bat is, you were talking about, just recording, a long thing, 20, 30 minutes, and then just giving it to somebody and letting them cut it up and find the tweets, the posts, whatever out of that, which I think is a brilliant idea. So, I mean, where would you find someone to do something like that for you?
You can find that on Fiverr. You can find that on Upwork, or you can hire your niece. Every teenage, actually, some of y'all are involved in communities and schools like Bill Dobman, or you should be involved in your communities and schools. And what I have seen on my local Facebook groups that I just love to see is my friends that are business owners giving back to their schools and giving barbership programs, giving apprenticeship programs, going out and offering these direct from high school to work contracting, with your hands kind of programs, and that whole Mike, I forget his name, but that whole blue collar kind of push that's going on with the trades. And why not try there? I don't know of anyone that has or hasn't, but kids are growing up with this as this is their extended hand. Like, phones and technology is an extension of them. They can do 10 times what I could do probably, but just each of us have our capabilities and limitations. But when you grow up in an environment where that's natural to you, I think some genius can happen with those guys, and you just let them loose. Give them a framework, give them the branding and the amount of make sure you have a brand and an avatar, right? Your avatar is one thing I actually wanted to cover at the very top. Some people say you need I have an avatar sheet if you wanted to. I meant to put it on there. An avatar is just a sheet you fill out. Some people say you need to know like where your person shops, what time they go to sleep, how many sugars they put in their coffee, to target them. Other people say it doesn't matter, but the real beauty of avatars and why I think every one of y'all should have one is pull out your database, pull out your contact list, whatever it is, and find out what are your favorite customers? What do they have in common? What are your other favorite customers to work with? What do they have in common? And then find out the 3 different types of commonalities they have. The politics, the religion, the sports team, the frequencies they do, the age group, the interest in what they, do they all have the same professions? Like, is there something that stands out about your favorite people? And then when you go and hire people to do your ads, to do your ad content, just post something about me, I don't know, you can at least give them, hey, here's my ideal clients. Here's what they think. Here's who I like. Here's what they definitely don't like. So don't go say stuff like this, because you'll just hand stuff to content creators and tell them, y'all, I heard y'all were good. Yeah, but they don't know you. They don't know how you talk. They don't know how people perceive you, because people don't care. They can buy showers from anywhere now. They can buy anything from people. We're getting to an age where anyone can buy anything from anyone. It doesn't really matter what the hell you're selling. It matters who you are. Technology is exposing who you are, and pieces of shit aren't going to survive. And I love it. The digital world is going to expose how you treat people. Your true branding is how you talk to your customer, how you talk to your vendor, and how you talk to your employee after you talk to your customer. That's your true branding. That's what people are talking about you. That's how you're getting people to come work for you or say, don't fucking work there, bro. Like, your real branding is how you treat people, and no amount of paid advertising is going to change the fact that you're a piece of shit. So be a good human being. And technology is going to enhance that and like bring you to the mountaintop, which is why I think a lot of y'all have survived so far. I don't think you'd be here if you weren't ethical in some way, because we've seen the fly-by-night people get exposed so much faster in these contractor Facebook groups we're in, and we're all here for it. Like, hell yes. Expose the guy who runs away from the bill. Expose the guy who gives a bad estimate. Expose the guy who's making people not trust my estimate when I give it, or trust the fact that I say I need the deposit first. It's not us that's hurting the reputation. It's those kinds of actors, those kinds of bad actors. And I think if you can help yourself not look like one, if you have branding and advertising avatar wrapped up, with advice when you give people, as well as a branding kit. I didn't share that we have that, but there's a branding kit I give with our hex code, our color code, our logo, do's and don'ts about our logo. So there is no handing something to a content creator and saying, and when they spit it back to you, you having tons of things you didn't like about it. And in their head, they're thinking, why the hell didn't you tell me in the first place? We just don't have it in our processes to have these kits that we hand people when we tell them to represent us. It's not really ingrained in any of our processes to do that, but it's something I would highly suggest across the board. Whatever person you're interacting with, it's not just the customer facing hardware kit you're showing anymore. It's the partner facing kits. It's the employee facing kits. When they get first onboarded, what kind of onboarding experience do they have? Do they feel wowed, like, holy hell, who did I just join? I didn't know they were doing it like this. Or do they feel like, wow, this is that no one knows, it's my second day and I still haven't done it. Oh, you want me to go help who? Okay. And just jump in the truck because you plan to start them somewhere, but you really didn't. And like, that happens a lot. I've done that a lot myself as a general manager, which is why I'm not anymore. But but that
Right.
yes. I think I covered all these topics I wanted to cover without going too deep about any of them. And I have 30 minutes to spare.
Yeah. Who's got a question?
What kind of system would you use for organizing no more of your customer but your orders? Let's say, there's programs out there, I don't know if you know, like Optima, where, for example, like we have a glass shop and we manufacture, so you can use those programs to let you know like where every single glass piece is, what process there, they if you have cut the glass, polish it, is in fabrication, tempering, but they're usually really expensive and maybe a little bit too complicated. Would you have a suggestion on a program that can solve maybe a little bit of that issue?
Depending on how your information is inputted, one of these CRMs or one of these automation builders, Zapier, Integromat, Automate.io, these are great with working with APIs. So however you're pushing out information, if it's all being spit out in a certain way, then these automation builders can receive that information, because some apps are closed, but they'll still shoot out an API. And as long as they shoot out an API, all that says is we'll shoot out a hook with a bunch of your customer information, and it's on you to have a programmer and a developer to unpack it, find out what the customer's email is from it. So whenever you spit that information to one of these through a webhook, that's where you'll be able to parse out what information you can even begin to start putting into a sheet. Because if you can do that, then it'll be easy to just put a Google Sheet or put it to a Trello board or to a ClickUp board or any of these free CRM dashboards that allow you to Zapier automate information to different stages based on whatever parameters you set. So I don't know how cost effective it would be, or how workload or work reducing it would be, because that's my main thing. It would be worth it if it's work reducing or cost effective. And sometimes it is, because you use a program that does 20 things when you only need something that does one. And yeah, that's what I would suggest, is connecting it to one of these and seeing what kind of information is even possible to port over in those APIs. And I would recommend that for anyone using any apps out there. When it comes to, anytime you notice your employee has to go to this app, input this, and then go to that app and input the exact same thing, why? You don't have to. There's some kind of automation where you can figure it out. We can figure it out together, where you can automate some kind of process where the person has to do less.
Yeah, I mean, I can speak to that myself and my experience when I started using FollowUp. I had my CRM that I had been using for a long time, and then I found it's like I was having to enter the same information, mainly like contact information and stuff like that. So I want to track the contact in my CRM. I want to track it and follow up. I'm like, man, it seems like I have to enter all this information multiple times. I talked to Rob about it. He's like, oh, we can fix that. And he got in that, I think, Zapier,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it's called, and was able to like hack into my CRM. So when I entered stuff in
with
there,
your permission,
with his permission, with my permission. No, I just gave him my access information. He was able to like make my CRM communicate with FollowUp, and vice versa. So like when I added it to one thing, it would just automatically get added to the other. And even when I would move along in my pipeline, it would move it along in the pipeline in my other program. It was just awesome, And then and so now I've gotten to the point to where it's like I don't even use that CRM anymore, because FollowUp just does everything. There's no point in even looking at that. Now I still have it for kind of a legacy stuff, so like old stuff that from before I was using FollowUp, I can still find customers and track what I did, and it was a pretty good tool back then, but pretty much antiquated now that I'm using this new souped up stuff.
Hey, Robert, I got a question.
Yeah.
So I guess on my end of my business, I'm more of a builder. I work for more builders than customers. So what would you recommend of more of a pipeline or a flow of a project, multiple projects for a certain builder versus keeping track of multiple customers, replacing that with keeping track of multiple projects from measure to the install, the ordering, the problems that could, occur during the install, and then the completion and bill and all that stuff.
Let me change the pipeline over. Let me change the filter on this real quick. I'm going to show some old stuff. Bam. So this is kind of how, bam. Yeah. So this is pointless here. Cool. This is all pointless data, which is good. This is an example of a pipeline. Here or here's the actual pipeline I don't want to show. We just build multiple pipelines and put your contacts within these pipelines. This might solve the last question of the glass manufacturer, the value of each and how it moves through your flow. You could build that in FollowUp. I just don't know how much details it entails as far as all your other automatic cuts and everything else you were talking about. But as far as contractors, moving them through the flow and contractors with multiple jobs, the pipelines can be in our FollowUp and in anywhere else, but in the FollowUp, the beauty of it being synced with everything else that you do is that you are able to customize the pipeline names as well as create multiple opportunities per job. And so one contractor will have 10 different opportunities in this pipeline, and we'll just name those jobs by different invoice numbers, address numbers, whatever identifier the company uses, because I've noticed every company has their own preference, but each one works for them. So whatever number system or identifier system you have for that job will allow you to, or anyone to come in, see what stage all of your jobs are, click into this little button right here, which would take you directly to the conversation with that person. And you'd be able to see all of that person's data, actually, let me click on that one because that one's irrelevant. This is everything you would see when you click on that customer. You'd be able to see a recorded phone call, an email that goes out, Facebook Messenger, Instagram DMs, anything that someone contacts you. Once you set up your FollowUp and you integrate it with any of those other accounts I recommend being on, all of those messages will show up just right here. And you're able to contact that customer back immediately, listen to how your employee talked to them, or hear that they said 34. And then 2 weeks later, when y'all get into a fight, you can go back 2 weeks ago and say, actually, the customer isn't always right, John. And you said 34 and I have it on recording. Now, what do you want to do? So that usually happens. And you probably wouldn't be rude, but data helps you protect your customers and help you not fuel the fires inside of your company of distrust that happen when he say, she say happens. I love data. Getting your trackers on your trucks will tell you who's really going where, when, and how long they really took. Getting trackers on your phones will tell you who's messaging when, how fast they're responding. That's another report I'm actually building out inside of this is a response report. I want to know exactly how fast we're responding to a customer right after they respond to one of our automations. And that's something you can customize and do in FollowUp, and a report I want to build so we can see the conversion rate of people that we get back to within 5 minutes versus people that we get back to within 1 hour. And that difference in conversion makes you say, y'all need to start responding to people immediately. So these are things that we're able to see, expose, work on, talk about, strategize, and create plans on because the information lives in FollowUp. And I get to talk to a lot of business owners like Kelly and see how they attack that too. I know Phoenix, Brandon has his own techniques of attacking contractors within here. And I know each location has their own influx and kind of ratio of jobs and kind of what that entails and the stages of it. So one person's automations that we would implement don't work for someone else. So we really work with you individually to see how often do you want your customers text messaged. For contractors, what notifications do you want them to get versus not get? What pockets and pools and what internal notifications do you want to be sent to your staff or to your to certain members of your team whenever people sit in any stage of your job pipeline for any amount of days that you don't think is cool? They need to be deleted, moved, talked to, or something. But you can build these little things inside of it once you have all that data here. And then those are examples of things that we've done. Maybe Brandon can help you figure out any other contractor pipeline kind of scenario with his workup that he's working on, because I know that's going to be another magical one. But did that answer your contractor question, Steve?
Yeah. I'd like to dive a little bit more deep into kind of eventually into the job flow from measure to install, just having something to maybe be a little bit more organized as far as keeping track of what may went wrong on this job, what was ordered, what was delivered, and just keeping a log for each job like that. But yeah, I can talk to you guys about it.
Yeah, we'll have pipelines here, and then on each customer, the log that would entail would be the notes. So on this notes, we can see the estimate that was given to them, someone attempting to call, the sizes that was estimated, and we can have a lot of these automated notes be put into the customer's contact card based on that certain job opportunity, or we can have manual. Some of these things are manual where people just come in, like me. I'll be on the weekends or just randomly see a question I know I can answer fast, and I'll jump in and answer it, and I'll move the customer. but I don't want to throw anyone else off. So I'll put a note that just says, move the customer over, and they'll see it was left by Rob at 9:30 at night for some reason. But like, that's just kind of making sure everyone's in constant communication through any of these kind of ways. Without, the goal is you're using the app and you don't have to go outside the app to do something that has to do with your customer. That's kind of the main goal of where we build all this stuff. For some people, it's 10 features. For some, it's 3. But the goal is, what do we need to do to get you to just move someone along and not have to search for crap?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Does anybody use FollowUp and Smart Builder together?
That's a good question. Does anyone use FollowUp and Smart Builder together?
Anybody here doing that?
Was anyone using Smart Builder before FollowUp, or have they gone on to use Smart Builder? Does anyone here know that?
I use them both. I use them separately, but to get, they don't implement with one another, but I do use them individually.
How does that work? I would love to hear your experience, and we could take this offline if you'd like, but we use Smart Builder right now, which I love, and I would like more automation and communication with customers in one platform. And I think Smart Builder can fall short in that regard sometimes. So FollowUp is very appealing to me, but I just don't know how it would integrate, because I don't think Smart Builder has an open API.
Not really. They'll integrate with like QuickBooks and for invoicing and all that stuff. But I pretty much use FollowUp for the front end and Smart Builder for the back end. So once I'll use FollowUp to get the customer, to communicate with the customer, to track the status of the opportunity, and I'll use Smart Builder to design the shower, to create the work order, all the internal purchase orders, invoicing, etc. So like the back end, I use Smart Builder for. The front end, I use FollowUp for. But they don't really integrate together, so I don't really put the customer into Smart Builder. I don't add them as a customer to Smart Builder until they get past like the lead section of FollowUp.
Got it. Okay. Interesting. Thank you.
We have seen FollowUp excel as a sales and marketing tool. Like that front end monster that just demolishes all else because of the all-in-one capability. And then we've seen a lot of people have different secondary, third processes that they integrate and pass on. That's definitely what I've seen a lot of people have.
And that makes sense with all of the marketing capabilities as well. So that's very exciting. Thank you.
Welcome. Just so you know, I built this shower. What is this? This funnel. If you have any marketing ideas, it's always nice to build a funnel, which is a one page that doesn't give the customer anywhere else to go. And you're forcing them to do one action, which is submit their information or get off the page. That's what a landing page kind of essentially at its core is, and why you would run ads to it versus running it to a website where they get lost shopping for too many options and then they choose none. So that's kind of the concept behind landing page. So you're able to build unlimited landing pages inside of FollowUp as well. This is one that I spun up just as an example that has this awesome chat widget that we get with FollowUp. Custom videos that I have on this page, different videos show on other pages, another chat widget that we have within it. And everything you see here, all the features, it's just as good as a page builder as anything else. So if you have any page builders, form builders, automation builders, we have automation, forms, funnels, websites. If you are a brand new company, had nothing, we could give you a fully functional WordPress website with every single marketing thing you would need, period. The only thing you would have to go do is go start a Facebook and an Instagram and a Pinterest to make sure you're seen and in front of the customers that need to see you. And then you use something like Canva and some of those other creation tools that I shared to put yourself out there, whether it's hiring someone or just going to the app and not caring that half of your stuff looks bad. It's more important to be out there than it is to have one perfect post. It's better to have 10 bad ones. People kind of like the 10 bad ones more anyways, to be honest.
Yeah, that page that Rob just showed is the one that I was talking about before he came on, before we started out the call. And if you have any friends you want to tell about or invite to the group or to this live stream, just share that link with them. I'm posting it in the chat room. Save that link and then just share that with people you know in the industry that you want to invite. That way they can come on. They can. It's awesome. They can like subscribe, to get emails about what's coming up. They can see, who the upcoming speaker is. They can join the group. They can join the call. If they don't want to be on Facebook at all, they just want to come on the Zoom call, they can do that. It's awesome. And this is just a perfect example of
and it was spun up in one day. It was like an idea I had after getting feedback from everyone about what they wanted to see as far as y'all. Like people ask questions, where can we send them? So I wanted to create a one-stop shop. And having this tool, I didn't have to go to 6 different apps to figure it out. I used to. Now it's just one app. My form builder's in here, my automation's in here. I have it set up, ready to go. And I can send the link to Chris and say, hey, here it is, start sharing it. And then I can put the code on the website widget right in there so people can. These are cool functions I like about these little widgets. Why you should have a chat widget is to give the person the ability to make you look cooler than other companies. And by default, they'll think they should pick you. Please, everyone, while you're here, shop the Glass Gadget Store. Brought to you by Chris Phillips.
That's right. Thanks for your support.
Yeah, I love this page because it supports you. The one thing I did forget to do that I also have on that sheet as a to-do is favicon. You see this little world icon? This little blank world icon at the very top. It's not supposed to be there. Most websites, most of y'all's websites have that little gray icon. All it says is, I didn't know where to put their picture in the right place. And I forgot myself. So no harm on y'all. As you can see, we all do it. But just FYI, go check yours and have your guy go upload your favicon. That's what it's called. And it'll just make you just looks cooler when you have your logo right there instead of something that says, I don't know what I'm doing.
Favicon. It's awesome.
Remember it. These are templates we have in FollowUp. You can upload unlimited templates. Like I said, I showed you a screenshot of these, but this is an actual, these is actually in one of our locations. Every customer response that they've asked us throughout time, I or other people have said, hey, can we make this a template? Because one person asked it. And I sent one person in a picture and it worked out so well because I sent them a picture of a old framed unit and a brand new one. And I said, are you trying to do something like this? Once they sent me a picture of theirs. And it's a lot different than if you just use the same shower picture to everyone you send it to. Whenever you take the time to find templates, pictures that actually match your customer space and what they want, they like you a lot more. I can tell from our reviews. But any phrase, email, or something, I hope y'all aren't typing them twice. If you are, this is my plea to you to start creating some type of template system and then giving your employees access to it so everyone knows exactly what you would say. Because the number one reason why business owners I know that start using FollowUp that fall under the cloud of Overwhelm is they never pass the contract. They never pass their jobs beyond them. They never give someone else even the ability to say what they would say to a customer. They just want that power and that kind of not just the power that they want to keep their contractors respect if they feel they might lose if they lose that personal touch and don't give them their cell phone number. So that little transition I think is huge. But when you can train your staff to at least sound like you, say what you would say, or momentarily give the information you would give until you are actually available, that would help ease the tension a lot more. So don't refrain from giving your knowledge or giving your employees every single scenario where in case you were out, they knew they had something to say and they knew it. Because a lot of times what I noticed, our response time goes to hell when the person whose job it was to respond to customers in our system didn't know what to say, didn't know how to pass it, and didn't pass it correctly. And that customer that was awesome and well nurtured and was loving us went 2 days without a response because they got lost in the overwhelm. So those happen. A lot of those are happening to a lot of y'all's customers, and y'all don't even know it because y'all don't even have a pipeline. You don't even know. It's a stack of paper that got lost in some dude's back pocket, that estimate, and you don't even know. And that dude never called you back, so you didn't even know you lost your job. I know because I lost plenty of jobs like that. I found those papers a long time later, and I was like, dang, we never did those jobs. True stories. But I plead to you, like set up all these technology will help you in all these ways. Set up ways that you can now catch. We can't afford to lose jobs. You just can't afford to lose jobs and to look bad. And in every way that you can, catch your customers, catch your employees, not representing you the correct way, because it's going to super help you when you do. I think that's conversations. Yeah, I showed conversations and pipelines. Those are the two questions. Another thing you can do is payments, collect payments in here, task each other, see the overall health of your business. Whenever you click on the dashboard and you have 20 different sources, as long as every customer is being added what source they came in, then whenever you run your report at the end of the month, you can see 20 customers came from this source, 10 came from that. Hey, we're spending money on business cards. We got 10 from our business card. What happens a lot is no matter how many times you scream at your front office people to ask the person where they came from, they don't. And I promise you that if I ask you the last 100 customers where they came from, you have no clue. You can tell me probably 3 or 4 of them. But unless you have a process, if you do, more power to you. But we had so many moments where we didn't know, we didn't care. We knew we had to, and years passed and you just never do. But with a system like this, or if you go find a form builder, make sure every form on your website now ask that question. What kind of customer are you? All these kinds of identifiers you want to know about your customer ahead of time. Whether it's the landing page or the form you make, whenever they submit that, they go into your system and they automatically get all these tags of what product they are, what kind of customer they are, what date they are. And now at the end of the month, without you having to yell at anyone, you have a great sourced data center of where people are in your pipeline, where they came from, and the dollar value attributed to each, and how much money you're really making on ROI when you're spending on that van wrap or that business card or that other campaign that never was truly marketed before or tracked before. Because it's not just the landing pages or the forms that we have in here that makes it easy. It's phone numbers. So maybe that phone number on that yard sign is unique. Well, go and create a new number for $1.15. For $1.15 a month, you go create a new number, and now you have a Google Ads number. Holly has her own number. She never uses it. Yelp has its own number. We go and put that number in that platform. If someone calls, our system says they came from there. I don't have to rely on no marketer to lie to me so I can pay them more money the next month. I don't have to wonder if the next person is misrepresenting data to me. When you have your stuff segmented, your system will tell you everything. And all you got to do is make sure your system's running good. And you don't need 20 guys for that. You don't need to go chase down any employees for that. You just need one good documented data system that'll tell you if anyone deleted something or anyone manipulated data. And that's what we have. And that's where you can get anywhere. But with this system, you'll get me, which is, some people need that. Like Kelly, Brian, Kevin, that luckily they still call me for help. My goal is to get people to not need me, to keep training you and helping you up to a point where you don't need to call me anymore, because you know exactly what I would have said already, which is why I haven't heard from them in a while. But I
need you a lot less than I used to, Rob. Sorry, man.
Yeah, it sucks because I end up not being alone. But you know, it's cool because I know y'all are doing awesome.
I'll keep them busy.
That's right. I still need you though, man.
Once you reach that point, everyone just needs it till they reach that point, right? They're in the weeds. They need technology. Once they fix those problems, though, that's what they needed, the sweet sauce. They needed to know how to fix the problem, how to sustain the problem solver, and then what to do if anything breaks. That's it. And once they figure that out, they're like, cool, this is what I needed. And that's awesome that we can provide that, or that I can help bridge the gap to technology for people that might be in the weeds, like the old glass owner, Troy Sugar, when I went back and he needed help downloading an email. And just by being present, I was able to help so many people with so many technical processes that they were doing that were very time consuming and didn't have to be. And that's kind of what my biggest focus is when I work with anybody that I onboard with FollowUp, is asking about every other process you have too, because I want to know where else are you wasting time. I want you to get off earlier, or at least have more time to work like me, work on more better things.
Yeah, you know, when you started, you mentioned that you had a lot of patience, and like that's really true about you, Rob. It's like, you know, a lot of times, like the IT guy, you don't want to talk to the IT guy, man, because he's a jerk, you know, and he's going to make you like that Saturday Night Live skit. Remember that? You know, they like call, oh man, don't call the IT guy. He's like going to make you feel. I
wish I could be that guy.
But you're really cool to talk to. Sometimes I just call you. I really didn't need help. I just wanted to talk to you.
That's fine with me.
But yeah, just to have that patience and that ability to communicate what you know to somebody who doesn't know what you know. I mean, that's a real trick. So a lot of times, people who are nerdy aren't very socially apt. So if you can have like both of those skills, you're a monster, So, and you definitely got it in spades, man. So appreciate you.
Thank you. I enjoy the process. Kelly was my fit. I always reference Kelly when I talk to other people and how Britt and Tilson approached follow-up versus everyone else. Everyone else I noticed added follow-up, including me, added follow-up when I had a ton of things I was already doing. And it took me about 5 months to implement it at the core level where I was like, man, this is all right. I'm ready. For Kelly and them, they hired someone outside that didn't have a ton of responsibilities, and their role was to do a bunch of things, but one of them was follow-up. And so they had a little more free time than somebody else that was already bogged with responsibilities, or in their head at least assumed like, oh yeah, you want me to learn one more thing? Cool. Let me get these other 4 things that you said I'm late on or not doing that well at. So they never have that incentive to go use this new software, so you could tell them how much they suck at that too. But Kelly didn't have to worry about none of that. Her job was learn this, show us how to use it, because we know it's what we need. That was the approach that I think Billy took. I don't know. Maybe it was just like, hey, see if this is worth the shit, because I don't want to waste my money with these guys. I don't know why he hired Kelly to do what she did, but that approach was so unique to me, and it stood out to me because it worked so fast, and I saw them hit the ground running with it. And she stopped calling me very fast, and she also started building a lot of cool things on herself, which is super dope. She built some of these automations on her own, which all of y'all have the power to.
Wow.
It's rarely that y'all take the cake.
Cool.
Yeah, that guy he's talking about, that's this guy right here.
That's right.
That didn't have the time, had so many other things to do, knew it needed to be done. That was me. That was me on the road all day, every day, measuring, ordering, nonstop, working on the weekends. And I knew I had to figure out a different way to do the process, and started doing it my own way for a while. And I truly believe in divine intervention, and things happen in the right way at the right time. And I started looking into this, and right about that time, for those of you who don't know, Kelly is my aunt. So her father started our company in 1960. So she's intertwined in the family, and grabbed a hold of her and pulled her in as quickly as possible and said, hey, we are struggling in a good way because of volume and what's going on. We need help. I know that you can help us now. And we were able to make her functional with follow-up. Without follow-up, we wouldn't have been able to do it. It would have been a struggle. She would have been frustrated very quickly, and probably wouldn't be with us anymore. And that was, we're pushing 2 years ago now, that she's been with us. And this is what she has lived in and thrived in since day one. And it took some time to jump into it. And we still underachieve with follow-up, compared to what I know it can do. But I don't wear that burden. I use it to do what we need, and we get really good at that. And then we go, okay, now what is the next thing we can do with it? Rather than because if you listen to Rob, it can be overwhelming because it can do so much. You got to go, okay, what do I need it for right now? Let's do that. Let's make that function. Let's make that work for us. And then take the next step. Don't look at the 100 things it can do. Look at the 2 things you need it to do that will make your day easier, make your communication better, make your customer happier. And that's what we've done. We've gone from 2 things to 5 things to 10 things, and we're still shy 90 things, but it's still doing the 10 things that I needed to do really well. And that's attributed to Rob and Kelly diving into it all the time. And that's what we had to do. Maybe you don't have a person you can put in that position, but that's how we were able to be really successful with it. But it's helped me too. It's changed the game on how we're able to communicate. And I've mentioned it before. I love the style of communication that it gives, and the way that we can keep up with customers so well when we were struggling with that before.
Wow. Well said. All right, Rob, before you go, I have to ask you, looking into the future, what do you see?
I'm so happy you asked that, because I literally wrote that down as a phrase I wanted to say, as something I do. I look into the future as actually was the introductory phrase I wanted to put out there. My role and what I do and why I even mess with all this crap and why it excites me is because I read books that I have in that little sheet I share that I'm going to share with you. It is The Future is Faster Than You Think. And that book and The Brain That Changes Itself, which are two top books, The Brain That Changes Itself and The Future That is Faster Than You Think, are two books that just impacted my mind a lot. The Future is Faster Than You Think is just about how technology is converging. So what I see is a world in which we're all going to be able to do things a lot faster and a lot cleaner. You're not going to have a choice on if that technology is going to touch every point in your life, because we have the privilege of living at the point in time when everyone's genius is coming together, which is what that book talks about. The genius in submarines and the sonar, the genius in the space program and flight and how to breathe in those conditions, the genius of mountain climbers and all these scientists and microbiologists, geniuses in their own fields that created software and technology that was only great for them. That was what they needed. We've reached the point where all these technologies are converging and we're all meeting each other at these points, at these conferences, at this reduction of a barrier of technology for me to Babatunde, where now I can talk to him and learn his language and ask him things on the side. And the 3 billion people of the planet that are not connected to the internet are about to be connected to the internet in the next 2 or 3 years because of these multiple entrepreneurs that already have satellites and that are working on free internet, cheap devices, and connectivity to all these genius people that are going to be contributing to our overall society. But what's going to come with that is wealth, opportunity, more people to sell to, more people buying, more people that want to be coached, more people that don't know what they're doing, more people that need a flashlight or that have something to share or something to sell. Like, the beauty of that and the fact that technology is coming to a point where I can now wear a device. It's already been demoed. I can speak. It will translate my voice to you and you will hear it in your native tongue. And then you can speak back to me. And neither of us are speaking each other's language, but the devices are at good quality, already making it possible for me to not allow a barrier to language be the reason why I don't communicate with you and see what you have to offer in this world. And like that excites the shit out of me. I'm so happy to be a part of this transition in the world where we're reaching the point of life expectancy and how many years you're alive and how much we're increasing life expectancy. We're reaching that crazy point of singularity, and it's exciting to me, but it's cool. It's crazy. I love it. I see us all being engulfed in technology and me being in the middle of it, waving my hands happy, and some people yelling doom and gloom. And I hope that I'm there calming more than half of y'all down and helping y'all learn how to help it benefit you and not kill you, because automation is coming.
There you go. Robert Gomez. Thanks so much, man. I really appreciate your taking the time to speak to us tonight. And that's going to do it for this week's live stream. So be sure to join us again next week when our guest speaker is to be announced. So check the landing page for updates, and we'll let you know what's happening. Have a fantastic week,
All right.
everyone.
Good job.
Good night, guys.
Thanks, guys.